What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction and back with some more Anything Box. And thank you again to Herman for sharing this material. We're continuing in a selective way going through their 1990 album Peace, which is to say I haven't gone through it in chronological order, but I think all the tracks I've reacted to so far have been on the record, and in fact we're jumping back to the opening tune on the record now, which is called Living in Oblivion. I really like the phrase, there's a poetry to it, but there's also a, if not melancholy, at least despair to it. I shouldn't say at least. I feel like maybe despair is farther along the line of emotional pain or giving up than is melancholy. But what I mean to say is Oblivion is sort of the end of time and space. It's a place so far away from that which is known and ordered as to essentially be the end, where one goes to be permanently lost, to give up, to be done. So I feel like living in oblivion is an interesting concept in that there's a bit of an oxymoronical nature to it, there's a bit of a contradiction to it. You can't really live if you're in oblivion because you're beyond time and space in a place that doesn't really exist or which you can't exist. So to be living in oblivion sounds like an unfortunate circumstance. It sounds like one is no longer able to make connections or to see a path forward or to find emotional well-being or comfort. So yeah, it sounds like pain, it sounds like disinterest if not despair, but of course phrases like that can often be the point of recognition, which then leads someone to come back, or someone reaches out to you when you're living in oblivion. So I feel like there may be more to it than the negative sound on the surface. Let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Anything Box. The track is Living in Oblivion, and it's from their 1990 album Peace. Giving me Erasure vibes a little bit right at the start.
You can hide the pain. I can see it scroll on your empty face, and I feel the hurt. It's in the words you say. They make me want to scream out to the world.
I heard it. Crystalline organ. Different melodic runs, and beneath it all that bouncy Erasure style bass line. really like their style. They do give me Erasure vibes, they give me 80s vibes. I know I talked about this a bunch of times where, there's different sonic flavors as you go through the 80s, even if you're just talking about synth pop, and even though this is 1990, it gives me early to mid 80s vibes, so there's like a bit of a nostalgic feel to it. Ultimately, there was only one moment where I heard that scratch that the lead singer sometimes articulates, in which perhaps I felt the pain was most common with, or featured most prominently. But yeah, here I only noticed it once, but I do feel like lyrically I wasn't too far away, thinking that, it's about this place where he doesn't want to be, and even though he feels himself maybe slipping into it, he wants to feel the connection of the person that he's next to, and he wants to, shout out for everyone who may be feeling similar worries and feelings. So yeah, it sounds like an attempt to retain your humanity, to retain your emotion, and to retain the ability to make connections with people, to feel love perhaps specifically, and not to let yourself end up living in oblivion. So again, it felt like maybe it was a sad place that he doesn't want to be, but the point of talking about it was to say that he's trying to turn it around and trying to avoid ending up there. So yeah, it sounded like there was actually some positivity to it, despite what the title might suggest. And yeah, sonically, again, all these different melodic and percussive lines that were sort of either overlapping each other or overtaking each other. One would go and then another one would start, and some of them were very keyboard-like. Some of them there was one that had sort of a synth string type of sound to it. And underneath it all was that bubbly electronic synth bass, which did very much remind me of a Vince Clarke bass line from Erasure. So yeah, really enjoying this group. Shout out once again to Herman for sharing. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.